Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers, you know what it is. It's your host, Eric Okrie, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, coming at you after my favorite event in all of sports, the NFL Draft. Drink it in, everybody. Drink it in, man. Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Gotta make it a double.
Cornbread!
You know how we get the show going here off the top. A little Kool-Aid, a little cornbread, a little excitement because the Detroit Lions had a heck of an NFL draft. Excited about the picks. A couple that, always kind of, what, who? And there's nobody better to talk about it than the one and only at Chops in the D on the Twitterverse. Choppy Chop, you're here. We had live audio, we had picks, we had hashtags from you, woo-wees, like you got picks correct, you and Brad Holmes were texting, lots going on, buddy. How you doing tonight? Let's talk all about it.
Okrie, what a great NFL draft. Bro, I feel like every year I get so hyped up for this, and every single year it lives up to my expectations. Just a fantastic draft this year, like you mentioned it. I mean, I wasn't going to toot my own horn, but I guess since you already did, I kind of might. Like, me and Brad Holmes are texting back and forth. I'm like, yo, Brad, go get this dude. And he's like, hey, that's a hell of a steal, Choppy. I think I can get this quarterback in the 5th round. What a steal. Chops nailed it. Brad Holmes nailed it more. Love these picks. Love these on-the-clock picks, man. You and I go, I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to have your list ready. At the minute, at the drop of a hat, Brad Holmes might trade up, he might trade back, he might trade 2 picks, he might trade 4 picks. You never know what he's got to do. It doesn't matter where you're at. You got to be ready to go. You got to have names in the queue. You got to be ready to tweet it out. You got to be ready to shout it out on the recording. Let's go.
Oh, we're gonna go all right, and like you said, the draft is something else. Some people, they're just picking players. Why do you care? Why do I care? This is the lifeblood of our football team. These are studs coming out of college football. They're gonna put on Lions uniforms. It lived up, as you said, as well as me and you. I mean, over the last couple of years have really dialed it up in regards to just our excitement for it, the recordings, the way you've come with sort of like your approach to the draft, your picks, being live and making some great selections. So what we're going to do today, Chops, is sort of go through the Lions picks, talk about them, go back and forth, opinions, takes, gimmicks, you know what we do. And then the back half, I do want to give the people the Okrie draft, the Choppy draft, who we picked for the Detroit Lions, on the clock. We didn't wait till like a couple days later, or hey, let's see who the Lions pick and then we critique it and say what we would have done because we're smarter. We had to pick players before they picked based on who was available, and then we'll probably end with like lots of hype, talking about Super Bowl, Kool-Aid, cornbread, all types of things. So Chops, let's just start at the top with your boy Blake Miller, offensive tackle, right tackle, by the way. From Clemson. This dude's like 6'6", 6'7", 315 plus pounds. I mean, never misses a game. Hard nosed, got some real good athletic scores. You know, I say your boy, but you know I was kind of on board with this from day one. I did select Monroe Freeling alive, but to me it was one or the other. And the fun part about the draft is like sometimes I do get lost in the like who do I want versus who best fits the Lions, and Blake Miller fits the Lions so perfectly from a position standpoint, character, just overall team, what they need. It just lined up so beautifully. So you called this live on the clock. You love this guy from the choppy Mockies all the way to the actual day. You stuck strong. So I'll go ahead and let you just whoop him up a little bit more. I'm sure similar to what I just said, but you really nailed this one, and I love this player.
Wait, hang on, Okrie. So are you telling me that it's Blake Miller time? That's what I'm talking about. I love this player. I've loved him from day one. He was in multiple choppy Mockies. Like you said, I kind of stuck to my guns. This was one of the dudes that I kind of liked a lot, and I felt bad taking him at 17 a lot because like in a lot of consensus rounds they had him in like 25 to 32 range. And so, but I'm so happy that the Lions took this dude. Like you said, man, we've laid it all out. Hopefully the people got a chance to listen to the live draft audio that we dropped right the day after the draft. I'm sure there'll be more content coming out, but like called this on the clock. I just loved every single thing about this player. Like it's the safest pick. It's the biggest position of need. He's a natural right tackle. Like everybody's heard the stories of why he's a right tackle because, you know, he wanted to start as soon as possible, and that was where the depth chart was the least, and so he just stepped right up. 4-year starter out of Clemson. He goes from being a Tiger to being a Lion. Love this pick, Blake Miller.
One thing the Lions have done really well, and I think they did well here and throughout this draft, is not only do they know their team really well, but if you get away from some of the project picks they've made, they really select guys that fit their locker room, you know, just fit in so nicely with their current roster. And then it's kind of a trope or a cliche to just say, man, dude's a football player. But I feel like we're going to say that multiple times on this show, and it fits Blake Miller, hashtag Miller time, so well. It's like you just see pictures of him, you hear him talk, you see his family, you just think, man, this is a guy I want on my team. And that's our one of our missing elements, Chops. I bet you if me and you, which we don't have time, but if we could just like sit down, watch interviews, and like kind of go player to player, we totally elevate some of these guys based on not only who they are, but kind of, okay, what would the Lions look for? You know, what would they be excited about to hear from a guy based on his personality and whatnot? So I think they absolutely nailed that part of the process. And when it got to round 2, you know, we're sitting there, and me and you are looking at edges. We're looking at safeties that are available. There's some high-end linebackers. And, you know, the Detroit Lions go from 50 up to pick 44 to select Derek, I've got the improper spelling, more Edge from Michigan.
Go Blue.
Hashtag go blue. I mean, Chops, this dude is a team captain. 6'4", about 250 to 60 pounds. This guy is a leader on the football team. Yeah, he didn't play right away, but he hung in there. And did he play and did he produce late? Yes. Does he play with power and speed? Yes. Can he play the run? Yes. He does a lot of things you gotta love. And did I mention he love this pick, love the player, love the school? You know what it is.
I am so happy, and I think I've dubbed him Derek, give me some more. Because I love this kid's motor. I love that he's from Michigan. I think he is a perfect pairing for Hutch. You know that he's the kind of cat that's just going to feast because of all the extra attention that Hutch gets. And, you know, the other thing for me, and, you know, I gave a lot of takes about this guy after in our recordings, but the more I thought about it, with the moves that Brad Holmes made in the offseason, picking up DJ Wanham and a few other guys, like, God forbid Hutch can actually take a snap off. Like, the guy cannot continue to just play every single down, all 4 downs, you know, drive after drive after drive. And this cat allows him to, and, you know, that's not a knock on Hutch, but, like, he's got to get a break every once in a while. And I think that you can slot DJ, that's my DJ, the 4th DJ in there with a little Derek, give me some more. And you can give Hutch a little break every once in a while. So love this pick, love the player, love the mentality. Again, just another great draft pick by Brad. always open for business, Holmes, during the draft, because that's what he did. He traded up to get this cat.
Unleash Hutch. I'm ready to unleash Hutch.
I think Derek Moore is going to help unleash Hutch. I guess one thing I'd say is that, we're going to serve up Kool-Aid, whoop these players up. But part of it is, not only having realistic expectations, but these guys might take a little time to season. They might need to come in and, as you said, have a little bit of a rotation. Nobody's saying that we think Wanham's a better overall player or has more upside, but between him, Derek Moore, and these other players on the outside to kind of mix in with our star Aiden Hutchinson, we feel like it's a great mix. And then, I read some things about Derek Moore that were kind of like, he's a little bit lower ranked, or, I'm not sure what he's going to produce other than on pass rushing downs. He's a little bit lighter on the run stuff. It's like, from day one, you can kind of nitpick and say some of these things, but I feel like overall, he's going to be a really productive edge player on a rookie contract. And then I'm going to circle back to what I said. My favorite thing about not only these picks, but drafting players in the NFL is you get to handpick guys that fit your system, fit your mentality, and guys that you don't have to worry about off the field. The Lions don't go ahead and pull up the old, height, weight, speed, and just take guys that look a certain way, or they take guys that they love, that fit everything that they're about, and that they're going to fit right into their scheme, the city, the culture, the grit. And that's a beautiful thing when you can kind of add a guy like that and not have to worry about him ever again. I feel like Derek Moore is going to grow. He's going to be brought in kind of like not a situational pass rusher, but a guy that can split time, and then a guy that also is quickly going to grow on his teammates and be a captain-ish type guy on the defense before you know it, as well as a very productive. I mean, how many times did we watch games on Saturday, Chops, and Derek Moore was just killing the quarterback or blowing up the pocket or getting a TFL and getting a running back down the backfield after you just destroyed a tackle? Like, those are the same things you're going to see in the NFL. Because here's another thing, Chops, I'm going to bounce it back to you. The Lions drafted, and in the past and now, and especially in this draft, not only football players, but guys that have played a lot of football and have made a lot of plays on the football field. This is not a projection. I hope he's good. He looks the part. These are guys that make plays, have made plays, will make plays, and have production more so than potential. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. It sounds like Derek, give me some more, actually put up some stats that I love. So it wasn't just about, he's got some great upside. No, this cat's ready to go. Is he going to be a rookie and make mistakes? Of course. But he backed up his production. National championship, captain of the defense, put up the stats. And again, I think the people that I saw hating on this the most are people who are Suckeye fans and Sparty boys. That's about it. Because everybody else who actually watched football, who actually saw people out on the field, watched this cat go out and get 11 sacks last year, 25 hurries, 3 balls batted down, 9 QB hits, what did he have, over 100 total tackles. The dude's just a freaking animal. He can play against the run. He can play against the pass. He's ready to go, and he put up numbers in a big boy college. And I think that's another thing that is really telling to me that I think people are underplaying. Brad Holmes loves himself some SEC. Am I right? He is notoriously taking dudes from Georgia, from Clemson, from all these schools. And he went around and he goes, I've got dudes who are in my backyard that can play big boy football, and he's going to take them. And he's taking them over players from those other conferences that he likes. So damn well that Derek Moore checks all the boxes. Haters be damned. Give me some more. Derek, let's go.
I can't agree more on all that. I can't agree. Moore. I know you're trying to work this nickname hard, and I appreciate it. Trying to get the gimmick going. It's not bad. I'm sure we'll have plenty with that name and the fact that he doesn't spell my name correctly. But as long as he gets after quarterbacks, and again, he's a great human being, which matters. So we got an edge and a tackle for all you haters out there, all you people that all want to just complain. We knew that was the biggest need. We weren't 100% sure that Brad used to be open normally on draft day, not so much this year. Holmes was gonna do that, or if he was gonna go crazy with an off the wire, I know better, BPA, I told you so pick, but pretty much just took two positions we wanted, two players nobody can really argue. I mean, don't tell me, I thought you could get Derek Moore 20 picks later, and me even was sort of nitpicking the trade up, like, you got to go up 6 and give up that 4th. It's like, at the end of the day, not only does that not matter, Brad Holmes said this was their top player on the board at the position starting the round, and was just more than happy to be able to get him at 44 for Gimme Some Mo, Derek Moore. Chops,
I gotta cut it. Can I cut in here real quick because you bring up something I want to touch on?
All right.
I'm so sick and tired of hearing. I don't mean to rip the mic from your host, but I'm so tired of hearing people. Oh, why did he have to trade up? That guy would have been there. He wasn't gonna get taken. Bull malarkey. If you're telling me you think you know these GMs, you're in the circles better than anybody else, because that was the big thing. Why did he have to trade up? No one was going to take Derek Moore. I damn well guarantee you Baltimore is going to take Derek Moore, okay? I promise you. But again, it's like there's no magic crystal ball here. Like, you got to do, and this is, Brad Holmes approaches these drafts exactly
Just give me that
how I
Koolaid.
love. He identifies a guy, he puts him in a bucket, and he goes, I need that guy. I'm going to go get him. Okay. I am going to use a later resource. Again, at the end of the day, they have 9 picks in the draft to start the draft. Well, guess what? They used 2 of those picks to parlay themselves up a little bit. So I hate that take. I hate not your take, but the take from the people who supposedly know better than all. He would have been there. Malarkey. You have no idea if he would have been there. And I promise you don't know NFL GMs better than Brad. Always open for business, Holmes. Does.
Chops, quick question. Are you trying to work in this malarkey word as a new gimmick, or when things aren't like correct or you don't agree, we already have something established for that,
Well, I'm trying to change it up a little here because I felt like for a little while the boo got a little overused here. So I'm thinking I'm trying to switch it up, maybe get another little hashtag buzzword, choppy buzz, malarkey.
I mean, are you insinuating that boo is like, I mean, it's definitely not overused. It's become one of the crowd favorites. And then I think your malarkey word is just you like wanting to swear, but your kids are going to hear this, other kids are going to hear this, all types of the millions and millions of the people are going to hear this.
And the people consist of the millions.
So I feel like that's you trying to like calm yourself down a little bit. But me and Beetlejuice, I mean, we can't agree more with your take.
Yeah, I understand. I got it in my head, dude.
Chops, we could go back and forth all day. We work your gimmicks in, explain your gimmicks, have you yell some more. But we got to get to not our 3rd round pick, because we didn't have one, because we picked a guy named Vanilla Smooth Isaac Tesla last year, where we gave up 2/3 and jumped up a round to go get the man who hopefully will be a great WR3 and make some plays. I see some people already putting him in the Hall of Fame, but I just hope he is out there a lot more and balls and has the most incredible hair in the NFL. But in the 4th round, Chops, they went ahead and took a guy from the University of Michigan, which, by the way, is the winningest program in all of college football, and that's Jimmy Rolder, inside linebacker. Dude's got size, makes tackles, and in case you didn't know, Chops, I'm going to kick it to you and just tell you that he's a football player, a nasty good football player. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think that linebacker was definitely on our list of needs. I think we were probably expecting them to go with someone who's a little more of a coverage backer, but I know that Brad Holmes is also eyeing up a couple free agents that are still available out there. So I love Jimmy Rolder. Like, this dude just loves to hit. He's the guy that's out there like smoking fools, knocking helmets off. Like, I know he's got a little bit of an injury past, but I don't think he missed any games, but a few times where he would get hurt, or he's just super aggressive, loves to smash. Absolutely love this player as well. in a spot where a fourth-round linebacker is kind of where we need. Again, he's an immediate starter on special teams, which is also good. But good linebacker depth here, rotational value. Do I expect him to come in and be a week one starter? No. In case you didn't remember, we got Jack Campbell or Reborn. And then we also have Rodrigo. That was the live drop. I'm sure you'll hit the sound drop.
Rodrigo.
And then, thank you. We also still have Derek, I can't spell my first name, Barnes. So I didn't need a linebacker to come in and steal a starting spot. But I think Jimmy Rolder is going to surprise some people. I don't think it's just going to be like one of those guys like, hey, do you remember that Jimmy kid from Michigan? No, this is going to be an impact player that I expect to be in the rotation over the next 4 years.
I think this is another Brad Holmes special where he just loves the guy, loves what he saw on film, had to have him. You can debate all day long what you just said about where and when. I saw a clip from Lance Zierlein saying, you want to know one of my favorite players in this draft, either nobody's talking about it, that people are sleeping on? Jimmy Rolder from Michigan. He said, most people are going to say, oh, he's a fifth-round player. He can only do this, he can only do that. He goes, I'd probably take him in about the third, maybe the early fourth round. He's going to make every tackle. He's going to be on special teams. Going to be a great fit for your culture, do all this stuff. And that's what I feel like. We're talking about kind of mid, like 18th pick in the fourth round, somewhere in that range. Like getting a guy that, again, you don't have to worry about. He's going to do multiple phase things for you, both on defense, special teams. He's no nonsense. He blocks. He destroys blocks. He tackles. He blows people up. He turns the ball over at times. He's a backup plan if you did have an injury to one of your top two. And I think he's just going to earn a role. Like, I can't remember if he was a captain or not. He really only came on that last year. But he has captain-type qualities of just like, this dude puts his head down, plays ball, and you really can't go wrong with that in the draft. You know where you can go wrong? Taking some weapon in the fourth round that you think looks good, and they wash out of the league in 2 years. They're shining shoes at the bowling alley. Or a guy that, we had didn't really scout this guy, but he was highly ranked, so we took him, and then we don't know anything about him. He doesn't fit our team. He hates football, and he just kind of is out of the league quickly. So Jimmy Rolder is not going to do that. He's going to play ball. Hopefully, like some of his injuries in the past would sort of clear up. He does seem like a tough guy, though. So I really like this. And again, I'm not like, hey, we got to get a top linebacker in the early rounds, but here in round 4, a guy like this, and Brad Holmes, again, to quote him, said, we one, didn't think he'd be there, and two, when he was, we were not only more than happy to get him, and then when he took Rolder, he's like, man, I was really wanting Keith Abney the second, which is a corner, nickel corner, feisty corner, kind of a nasty corner, highly ranked on most consensus boards, so he thought when he took a Rolder, he couldn't get Abney. Then he came back around to round 5, and Abney's still there. So he took Keith Abney. Chops, who'd you select with that pick?
Oh, I believe that was a hashtag market, hashtag what Choppy said, the steal. Market absolute steal, not just for the Lions draft, of the entire NFL draft. Keith Abney the second in the 5th freaking round. Are you kidding me? Every single ranking that I saw had this kid in the 2nd round, maybe early 3rd, and for Brad Holmes to get him, what was it, like the 18th pick in the 5th round? Something crazy like that. The fact that this cat was still there is just mind-boggling to me. Like, I'm looking at my stack of board, and, I just want to take you all through this, right? Like, here we are. It's the 5th round. We're looking at our stacks, and we're like, all right, I'm way down the list. I'm like, who am I going to take? Who am I going to take? And I just happened to hit the little scroll up button, and lo and behold, Keith Abney is literally sitting at the top of my must draft board. Like, I had him ranked like the 60th player. How is he here in the 5th round? Take him now. I overlooked him with the 4th round pick because I didn't even realize he was still on the board. Steal of the draft. This kid comes in long, lengthy corner. I mean, I know he's not tall. He's only 5'10", but he's got good speed. Steal of the draft. If carry on, Terry on, where are you, ATTA? Don't know. This dude can come in and play ball like day one. Count it, people. Steal of the NFL draft in 2026.
I love everything you said. I love the excitement. It is pretty damn exciting, too, when we're sitting here on our couch. Chops is driving the family around on day 3 or whatever he's up to, and he goes ahead and calls it on the fly, just like our GM does, who gets paid millions and millions to make these picks. And what's funny, Chops, when we haven't put out this audio, is that I'm sitting here, I've got the mic, I'm doing the Google Sheet. I even created like an Okrie board heading into day 3 where I wanted to kind of highlight and take people off. And when and if I get this audio out, like I literally was looking at that pick, looking around the board, and of course there's a couple of my favorites that I couldn't believe were still there. We'll get to those in a moment, so I ended up taking them instead. But I swear I talked for a couple minutes going, man, not a guy that I watched a bunch of film highlights on YouTube about, but I'm like, there's this kid, Keith Abney. He's ranked in like the 50s, standing out like a sore thumb, like sitting here, man. That wouldn't be a bad pick either. Then sure enough, it even took me a second. When they took him, I was like, I looked at it, I read him like, they just took Keith Abney. He's highly ranked. What a great pick. And then I tweeted that out right after, like, what a great pick based on value, position, player. You read up about this player, and it's kind of like, he could get beat deep. He doesn't have the greatest closing speed, but man, is he feisty underneath, where he just plays the football and isn't scared of anything, could play outside, could play inside, come up and hit you in the mouth. Like, lots of good things to like. I saw an interview with him. He's not a scholar, but he seemed to love ball, and as the interview went on, he seemed to have some real good answers. He's got a lot of loyalty for the program that he was at and his coaches, and seemed to just love ball. Said, man, I just can't wait to get to Detroit. I fit the culture. I do what those guys do. They got a lot of other good DBs and corners I get along with, so I think he's going to fit in great based on the value. Like you said, it is being deemed as one of the great picks of the draft from any team, and the fact that you called it and that you made a pick exactly like Brad Holmes in the 5th round, mid-5th round, whatever it was, is not only damn impressive, but awesome when that happens. So we're looking at this and like Blake Miller, Derek Moore, Rolder, and Abney. You gotta love it. It does get a little dicey with these last 3 chops. We'll go a little bit of rapid fire so we can spend time on our picks and what we did. And there were definitely guys we missed out on. Like, I have audio of me going, man, I wish we could get Keontae Scott here. He went like 2 picks before, before we took Rolder, I believe. So there were moments like that as well. But the head scratcher, the one that I'm still kind of frustrated about, is to trade up quite a ways to go get Kendrick Law, wide receiver from Kentucky. You see this guy, it's like, he kind of looks like a poor man's Debo, and he blocks, and he catches bubble screens, and that's all he does is catch bubble screens, and he's got yak, and there's all this stuff that, like, sounds good and makes sense, except for, like, he had no production when he was at Alabama. He didn't return kicks or do much when he was at Alabama. He went to Kentucky, did a few things, has some interesting traits, but nothing that I had to have at that point, especially when other guys were going a round or 2 later that had way more college production. But to me, this is another guy that Brad Holmes just absolutely loves. He saw him. Here's one thing Brad Holmes does. Maybe you can comment on this. When he talks, he's like, yeah, I saw this guy a couple years ago, and man, I was there live, and he snapped off a route, and he just caught my attention. It's like, I hope you got more than that, because when you're there in person, anybody can catch your attention with a thing here or there, but it's about their body of work and what they do. So Kendrick Law could surprise me, and there are some things that are somewhat intriguing, especially if the Lions do want to use him as a gadget guy, a bubble guy, a yak guy, a return man. I get all that, but I don't see this guy being some dynamic WR4-5 replacing Raymond Khalif Raymond type, what he brought to the table, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, to me, look, I don't hate the kid. Look, it's a 5th rounder. I thought there were a lot of players available that are better. To me, this is more of like a gimmicky, gadgety dude that you're like, okay, like, he's great with yak, and he can return kicks maybe, and he can kind of fill that Khalif Raymond Khalif role. But I still feel like it was a bit of a reach. I mean, I had him ranked in like the mid 200s, like 220 or something like that. So to trade up to grab this guy, I didn't really understand. But again, like I don't know what the talk is out there. Maybe other GMs were eyeing him up. Not the wide receiver type that I would have. Again, I'm still kind of banging the drum for a big X wide receiver. And Brad, I don't really care about tall receivers. Holmes just never seems to take one. So seemed a little bit odd for him to pick up a gadgety wide receiver who can, I think some stupid stat about like, I think it was 700 yards his senior year of college. And, I'm going to misquote it here. I'm sorry, 540 yards his senior year of college. I'm like, 485 of them were yak. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's a lot. So, maybe he's a guy that we run out there. And again, the other problem is like he's not going to be doing a bunch of stuff out of the slot because that's where you got Amon Ra. So maybe they go a hashtag JMO fast, send him deep to pull coverage, and then you throw it behind the line of scrimmage and let this guy cook. Maybe he can, juke and break the law a little bit. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see if he fits into as a teammate and whatnot. I mean, again, I'm willing and happy to be wrong, but this one was kind of tough for me. And I don't know what these choppy rankings you're talking about, because last time I checked, you didn't have any time to be ranking these guys one by one by one. But on our default rankings, which we use just because we don't really care about guys like Kendrick Law, he was 329 chops, not 220 or whatever you made up there to sound smart for the people. Way down the list compared to where they picked him in the 140s or whatever it was at that point, something crazy like that, or 180s, whatever it was. So quite the reach, but Brad Holmes loves a couple things about him, and adding a depth receiver that has some unique traits and maybe can fit in and has some upside, I guess, is not the worst thing. Now, these last two, again, I'm going to do rapid fire because I was both disappointed and also encouraged, and I'll tell you why. With the first of their last two picks, they took Skylar Gill Howard, interior defensive tackle, 5 technique type player from Texas Tech. Again, ranked 217 on our defaults. They show some highlights. I'm really not that encouraged. You hear more that, wow, he's like a team captain on defense. He's a leader. He does this, he does that. I mean, the reason I'm encouraged is because Brad Holmes continued to take big people that he loves. So you really can't go wrong there with having big, tough, physical, big men. This dude's 6'1", which is very short for an interior lineman, only 280 pounds. And I saw some people going like, oh man, this Gil Howard's got so much juice and he's going to be a problem off the snap and one penetrator. I'm like, I watched some highlights of him as well because I have no idea who this guy is. I saw none of that. I saw absolutely none of that. He looked slow as dirt with some of the snaps I saw. He got ate up by blocks. I mean, he has a couple where he catches the ball and runs in for touchdowns or something, but nothing wowed me on film or like, wow, look at his first step, or man, this guy's just blowing people. I saw none of that really. So maybe I watched the wrong highlights on YouTube, or maybe I'm mistaken, but that one surprised me. And then Chops, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm just going to double dip. Same with Tyree West, who they took, which is like, is he a defensive tackle? Is he an edge? He's 6'3", still under 300 pounds. He's, Brad Holmes seems to love both these guys and tell you, I can't believe they were there. And I'm like, I can't believe you took these guys, except that they're big, nasty defensive linemen that you love, that you say are going to do this and going to do that. And like, I feel like there's 10, 20 other players I would have rather had. So I'm not too excited about these last two, but Brad Holmes sure is. And then as more of these draft nicks get in, they're like, oh, Gil Howard's going to be great. And Tyree West has a lot of juice. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for me, I put these both in the buckets of like, well, I don't really know a ton about them.
Can I do it real quick? Are these two guys that are maybe TBD, if you ask me?
There it is.
But we'll see. I hope they play well.
Yeah, I put them in the same bucket. Like, I don't really know much about them. I've watched some tapes, some highlights or whatever. Like, I know Skylar Gill Howard was coming off an injury, so he didn't have a ton of snaps his senior year. these are the prototypical. Brad probably loves them, so he's gonna try to take a swing. I love that we double dip on edge. Don't get me wrong, because I think it's still a position of need. I still want some additional guys. Cam Jordan coming to town, please. But I would like some more guys on the edge. But like, I just get the whole like Josh Pascal. Like, I don't know. Like, well, we hope they're good. Maybe they'll fit what we do. But if they don't really ever do anything, it's a 6th and 7th rounder, so whatever. I know Josh Pascal was a 3rd rounder, but still, like, these are dudes that I'm just like, all right, cool. Brad must love them. I don't really have much of a take on them. Maybe they'll stay on the team for 2 or 3 years. Maybe. If not, they'll be heading to the bowling alley. And if they do, whoop-de-doo, Basil, because they were 6th or 7th round picks.
Even worse, I believe my former boy Josh Pascal was a 2nd rounder.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We never did anything. But I don't subscribe to they're 6th, 7th. Who cares? I care. Wait until I name off the Okrie pigs. I feel like you could have got some damn good, highly ranked, known football players instead of guys. But again, Brad Holmes met with these guys. He knows their character. He knows their makeup. He's got the scout side. But like, other than them being big people and him having a vision, I don't know there's much to love on the surface, but hopefully they both come in and either make the team or find roles, because I'm not just trying to give away picks or take guys so off the radar. I'll never understand that in the draft process. But Chops,
well,
I think
if you're taking project guys, at least he's taking them in the 6th and 7th and not in the 3rd and the 4th. I guess that's the only argument that I can have is, I don't love taking a bunch of project players, but if I'm going to do it, doing it in the 6th and 7th round is fine. And also, this is why I also don't really care when Brad Holmes spends a 5th or a 6th or a 7th round pick to move up a couple spots to grab a guy, especially if he's just going to take a project dude anyway. That's kind of my thought on it.
So you don't love him, but you don't hate him. You don't.
I don't hate him. I don't.
I don't.
Straight from your mouth to my thoughts. That's right.
Like, we don't hate these players, but like the thing we do hate is that these guys get picked that are so off the radar, and then Brad Holmes steps to the podium and he acts like, man, I can't believe they were there. I would have taken them I traded up in round 4, but I got him in 7 for free. I mean, that's the kind of attitude he has, which is always funny to me too. So, Chops, we literally just went 40 plus minutes, I think, just talking about the Lions draft. I mean, I think we need to take a pause for the cause, get breath, maybe a fresh Kool-Aid, and then this is going to be a longer show because it's post-draft, me and you talking ball, so I feel like I need a Kool-Aid, maybe a side of cornbread, maybe a double, I don't know, and then we'll come back and talk about our picks, whoop up the Lions, tell you how they're going to win the Super Bowl, all that type of stuff. Sound good?
Sounds great, buddy. Let's take a little break, give the people a chance to make some cornbread, and then get back at it.
Cornbread.
Drink it in, man.
All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers, we're back. Thank you so much for checking out the show, repping the show, sharing the show. Choppy, you know what I say. We appreciate the people getting it out there, drinking that Detroit Kool-Aid, repping our football team. We went deep on the Lions draft. We love the Lions draft. The Lions got B's and B pluses and B minuses and C's from a couple people, but the grades don't matter. We love the top 4 or 5 picks. The last 3 are TBD if you ask me, but we'll play well. Some of Brad Holmes' specials, but he feels like he killed this draft. We're happy about it. But Chops, we already gave you what the lines did. What did I do? What did you do live on the clock and why? That's what we're going to do right here. So I feel like it's only fitting that we get this thing going.
Oh, baby. Love that music.
You know what it is, Chops. The picks are in. In the first round, the Lions took Blake Miller. You already patted yourself on the back. You talked about how smart you were. You and Brad Holmes were incommunicado. I get it. Congratulations. But hey, I stuck to my guns, man. Monroe Freeling, the tackle from Georgia. I felt like he had a little more upside, pass rush, or pass protection ability. I liked his overall athleticism and a little bit younger. Thought maybe it'd be a better long-term play. So I took him, and I felt good about it, and I think he's going to be a good player. He went to Carolina a couple picks later. But the more you read up and the more you think about what a great fit Blake Miller is for the team, and you don't have to... you're going to move Penny, which we both said was probably the best move a while ago. So I like my pick, and I hope he's a good player. There are some scary things. He hasn't played a lot of football. Blake Miller's played a lot of football. He's fallen down a lot at the combine. Blake Miller, knows how to carry his pads. There's lots of things back and forth. But I felt good with my value of Freeling at 17. Chops, in the second round, go ahead and say who you took, because you took a player that was highly ranked, couldn't believe he was there, you felt the value was too good, went ahead and took him regardless of what else was out there.
Yeah, with that 44th pick in the second round there, I snagged up myself Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo. Dude, I had this guy as he was a potential first-round pick. So when he was there at 44, I was like, you can't pass him up. I'm not, I knew that edge was definitely a higher position of need. Maybe Kirby Joseph and my boy Brian Branch are doing better than I think. But for me, I could not pass up Emmanuel. I think I'm just going to call him MNW because I had this dude. Great PFF scores, awesome stats, loves his potential, high upside, just a stud player at the safety position, big, explosive. Just has a knack for creating turnovers, big hitter. I loved everything about this dude. He seemed like an impact player, so that's why the hashtag Choppy, which I guess it's not a mocky, but it's live on the clock pick, was Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Yeah, man, I couldn't argue with this at all. The funny part, and again, we're live on the microphones. You're doing a lot of stuff on your end. I'm working the scouting office here, doing my magnet boards, walking around, having a little food, having some fun. Draft is my favorite event of the year. But so sometimes you gotta adjust on the fly. And McNeil Warren was a player where we didn't expect him there. We don't know what's going on with Kerbo. We don't have medicals on my boy Brian Branch. But it's as much as he looked like a good value and a good pick, it was I did the Okrie where I'm sticking to my guns, who I wanted before, who I took in the Okrie mocks, and that was Gabe Jacques, however you want to pronounce it. He's an edge from Illinois. He's a little bit tight at times, but he gets after the quarterback, and man, I wanted myself a tackle and an edge. I wasn't going to get tempted by this safety that you took or a high-ranked corner. I wanted to get these positions, and I loved both of these football players, Freeling and Jacques. So I took them, and I felt great about it. So that's where we were at after 2 rounds. Here in round 3, Chobby, I did do a little bit of a, man, he's still there, and I said before that I wouldn't be against the Lions, doing a little double dip, and that's at the edge position. So when Danny Dennis Sutton was there, I was like, man, I like what a lot of the things this guy does on tape. He crushed the can, get after the quarterback. Yes, he's a little bit stiff as well. But you watch his highlights. This guy was highly ranked out of high school. He had a lot of good things going for him. Played at a big program like Penn State. I was like, I'm going double edges back to back because I know I can get corners, safeties, linebackers, wide receivers, whatever else later. And that's exactly what I did. Chops, what'd you do with the third selection? So this would have been middle of round 4.
Yeah, so with me, thinking about team needs, knowing that I kind of went away from a team need with the second pick there, I went with Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh, local kid we were drafting out of Pittsburgh here. I had him very highly ranked. This linebacker to me just immediately fills Fabio's role. Super versatile, can drop back in coverage, can good closing space, versatile. Can play a bit of nickel, explosive. So he could kind of do it all in the middle there for me. So that's why I went with Kyle Lewis. Again, put up good numbers there. You can play him in the box. You can play him in the slot. You could even play him on the D-line. He actually, got back after the quarterback a little bit here and there too. So I love the versatility of this player. Thought he filled the need. Immediately, jumped right in there for, I know we got Jack Campbell, but I liked the versatility and the coverage ability with Kyle Lewis there to fill another big team need.
Yeah, I like this pick by you. I liked Lewis a lot. He was on my short list. Again, I didn't want to deviate. This guy's a little bit of a backer / safety, moves all around the defense. So if the Lions had a plan for this guy and wanted him, I was more than happy to go with it. They also love, as you said, with the Jimmy Rolder, that heavier backer, the tackler, the no-nonsense. So it seemed like maybe a guy that was a little bit off their radar, but I thought your value was good. I liked the player. He seemed to kind of go off a little bit later, I believe, either in that round or just down the board a bit. So you got good value there as well with what the NFL thought. Chops, I came back here with my next pick with my boy Jalen Kilgore, and I couldn't believe he was there. I was waiting him out. I almost took him over Danny Dennis Sutton. He's still there at my next pick. I saw a lot of draft experts, quote unquote, being like, Jalen Kilgore in round 5, I think we're in at this point, was a heck of a value. He went to a good team as well and was a good fit, and I think he went just a few picks before us or something like that. So I'm not saying Brad Holmes had him circled, double underlined, highlighted, but I sure did. Was really happy to get this player. Reminded me of BB on tape. Had a lot of good things going for him. Safety corner is what I deemed him as. Like that pick, that value, and that player a lot.
Yeah, and and that's a great pick. Because I had already gone safety there, I actually had Jalen Kilgore pretty high on that list at that spot. Apparently, we were a little bit higher on him than others in the NFL. But again, like I told you, when I was doing my scrolling, I looked up, I'm scrolling down, and I'm like, wait a sec, how is Keith Abney II still here at pick 157? I got this guy ranked at 54th, super high. I ran that pick up to the podium, and I feel like I got the steal of the draft. Oh, and by the way, Brad Holmes agreed with me.
Oh, great stuff by you. And like you said, good point. Kilgore actually went quite a bit later, too. He still kept going down, and then ended up getting taken probably maybe a full round after. I mean, it seemed like quite a while, so it was pretty shocking to me.
That was a shocker. That's a big miss by the NFL, because I'm higher on this kid. I think you and I both are higher on that kid. He did not deserve to fall like he did. I think he went somewhere in the late 180s or something like that.
Yeah, he was like a late 2, early 3 and goes 180, like you said, which is wild, but it happens every year with these players, so who knows? Maybe the NFL knows more than me. Probably, maybe not so much. Chops, I came back and got myself a backer with the next selection, similar to your boy Kyle Lewis that you took 2+ rounds, maybe 2.5 rounds earlier. And that was my guy from LSU, Harold Perkins, who I heard great things about throughout the process. Just a guy really come into his own, athletic, do lots of things, might fit the Lions perfectly, really good value. Even better value because he slipped about a round and a half later than most thought. I was very happy to get him here. Give me a Harold Perkins linebacker from LSU.
Yeah, and so again, this is where the Lions went Kendrick Law, and so I definitely liked your pick there of Harold Perkins better than what Brad decided to do with that gadgety wide receiver. But in my pick, I'm looking at the board and I'm going, do I want a gadget wide receiver who may never see the field as a WR5-6, or do I want to get K-Tron Allen, running back from Penn State, another huge steal. Woo-wee! Again, I had this guy ranked in like the hundreds, like right around 105, 110. I have no idea how K-Tron, like every time when in my hashtag choppy mockies when this guy was still around, I'm like, why is nobody taking K-Tron Allen? And then in real life when he's there at 168 and Brad Holmes is picking up gadget players, I'm like, give me the dude that's compared his player comp is D-Mo. Faux show. Lots of skulls. Not here anymore. Give me K-Tron Allen, Penn State running back, baby. Dude is thick. Dude is nasty. 5'11", 215. Freaking hammer. Would have been an amazing complimentary. Yes, I love Pacheco, who has injury problems. Yes, I like Vaki, who hasn't really done much in the league. Give me some K-Tron Allen to be the jackhammer, like I called him, to the Sonic.
Who's that? Jameer Gibbs? Is that who you're talking about?
Elite weapon. I made you wait for it. I didn't even tell you were waiting for it, but you called it for me. Let's go. I love this pick by me.
I love this pick by me. I feel like I've given you way too much credit already, and you're high on your horse because you and Brad Holmes were texting or FaceTiming or whatever you're doing during this draft. But like, and again, we don't want to say it's hard work because it's totally fun. It's football. It's 2 or 3 days a year where me and Chops get to just geek out about the draft, football, Lions, talk a bunch of ball. He takes time out of his busy schedule, and we do kind of put work in, time, learn these players. But Chops, I have some great audio before you made that pick of me debating between K-Tron Allen, Harold Perkins, a few other players. I'm like, man, I really like K-Tron Allen, but I think I get a running back later. There was still probably 5 or 6 guys I liked on my board. So what did? I did the old Okrie where I was like, you could take him and it would be a totally good pick, but if I can wait and do something else, I feel like it was smarter to do so. So I went ahead and waited, and then when you pulled the trigger, I'm like, oh man, here we go. This is going to be great audio, kind of showing that we were both not only on the same page, but kind of the different approach we took. So no issues there at all. Chops, who'd you take with your next pick? Do you remember? You need me to give you a little refresher.
No, this is the pick 205, and I think, let's go here. So the Lions, this is where they snagged up, again, another, we don't know what he's really going to be. Skylar, Gill, Howard. And I'm looking at the board and I'm going, look, man, I haven't addressed the edge position yet. And there's this guy out here, and I abso-freaking-lutely hate his school. It sucks. It's the vanquished. You can play all
Ohio
the drops.
State
I'll give you the chance. Thank you.
Ohio State is vanquished.
But I selected Caden Curry, edge, from the Suckeyes, as I deemed him on the
State
Twitterverse.
is vanquished.
Look, dude, I think that this cat, Caden Curry, has a chance to be a real steal. 12 sacks last year. He had a huge PFF score, a 3-year starter, won the national championship in 2024. Big on hurries. I think he lost a little bit of luster because of some of the other studs that were on that defense. But, dude, this dude just produced. He had a hell of a 2025. And so when he was sitting there, even though he makes terrible decisions, point blank, bad decisions on the school that he chose, I couldn't pass up Caden Curry, edge, from Ohio State.
It was a bad decision, period, point blank. It was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made.
Not your pick, Chops, but his selection of universities or schools of education, quote unquote, / paying for whatever they want a couple years ago after we did it the right way. No cheating, no scandals enough. Anyway, so I didn't mind that pick. Again, you're going for big school, premium position, production, stats, like you said. How about when I stole your boy, Here, I'm just sitting around at, what, 205, you said? Like, most people check out after about, I don't know, pick 50, 60. They don't know anybody either on the board. No way they're going to put in this type of work. We're grinding at pick 205, trying to find diamonds in the rough, trying to find talent. And I go ahead and pluck your boy, VJ Payne. Bring the pain, because after you picked him, I did some research. I read up. I'm like, man, there's a lot to like about this player, as well as if I can get him later. It's another young safety. Hit, move around, has some production, does some nice things, fits the grit. So I went ahead and took this guy and felt great about it. You know, I was just like, give me VJ Payne. And at 200 plus, I love it.
Yeah, you know how I feel about this cat. We broke him down. You probably first heard his name. I believe self-admittedly heard his name for the first time in a hashtag Choppy because he had VJ Payne. He was on the all-name hashtag Choppy with a VJ, not a DJ. That's my VJ. Love this player. I love this cat. I already had taken a safety at this point, but I think you made a hell of a pick at 205. Absolutely giving you the little golf clap here. Nice pick, nice snag. Ends up going to the Jets with 8 great, or what's his name again? 8 good, all good, whatever it is. Aaron Glenn snags him up. He's a Jet now. But I like this pick by you way more than I like this project, D tackle piece that Brad Holmes selected.
And that's the thing, man, is you're like waiting it out and sort of seeing, man, I could get him in round 4 or 5. I could get this player, but I get this guy in 6, or I can wait it out. And like part of the draft is waiting it out. What do I always say? Hold your water. You just wait and see who's available instead of always having to go up and get your guy or take a guy 2 rounds early because you love him. I mean, we said earlier that getting a guy you love and you know fits and the character is very valuable, but there's nothing sweeter than waiting around and in round 6, 7, that was for the kids, by the way, Chops, around 6, 7, you know what I'm saying? You get a player that you get a player that you absolutely love at a tremendous value that shouldn't be there. I mean, that's the sweetest spot in the draft. And I feel like I did that in round 7 too, because I looked up and Burks, wide receiver from Oklahoma, is there. What was he on our overall defaults, like 50, 60, maybe in the 80s, somewhere like that? He's there at 222. Good old 222 Rodwood Drive there for their final pick. Like, give me Burks, the wide receiver. Yes, he's tiny, but a little water bug that was productive and that has some dynamic. I don't know if it's elite or not, but has talent. Give me that with my last pick instead of some plodding edge rusher that you love. But Brad Holmes knows. We don't know. But this was another one where he's sticking out like crazy, and I'm just like, I'm taking him.
Yeah, great pick by you, Okrie. If I'm going back, because at that point I'm like, okay, I haven't taken a wide receiver yet. I always like to take a flyer on a wide receiver, and you snagged up Deion Burks, which was very highly ranked. Okrie, when Choppy is looking at a Maki, when Choppy is looking at a wide receiver, what's Choppy looking for? Tell me what I say over and over again. What do we tell the people? What do I tout? What are the stats, the traits, all the things that I'm looking for in a wide receiver?
You need a tall, dynamic athlete that scores touchdowns, has stats, and upside.
That's exactly right. I'm looking for a big, nasty, freak athlete. You nailed it. And I couldn't pass up on Jeff Caldwell. 6'5", 215, coming out of Cincinnati. The dude only scored, let me see, like 25 tugs in college in his 3 years as a starter there. Not a huge yardage guy, but dude, he's the dude that you just go, hit me up in the back end zone. I'm throwing the ball at the 10-foot mark, and all you got to do is just hop and snag. The dude's got crazy long arms, super athletic, big nasty X-freak that I have been pounding the table for years and years. And so, of course, the hashtag Choppy Live draft pick had to take Jeff Caldwell.
Everybody, that's the Okrie Chops draft. Hopefully this recording does well. We've had a few technical issues, but what a fun time, not only watching this draft, making our picks, talking about this draft, doing the recap here on the flagship show. We hope it turns out good for you. This is two guys talking ball. We're going to hype up the Lions, but we want to make sure that we get this recording saved and out for the people. So, Chops, I just feel like Super Bowl's loading. This team has depth. They have talent. They're bringing back their top football players. We got an easy schedule. Dan freaking Campbell is not happy. Brad Holmes is ready to go and has a burr under his saddle, so I'm expecting big things. I love this draft. I love some of the things they did on the DL and free agency. I think they're going to add another piece or two. We're going to be ready to roll, buddy. What do you got for the people before we get up out of here?
Yeah, Okrie, I think you line up this draft class for the people, and anybody would look at this and say, oh, Brad Holmes changed his strategy, and he drafted for need, not BPA. And I think it's a great combination of both. He realized that, hey, we are on the up and up and up, and we had a little dip, and now it's time to adjust our strategy. And I love what he did here. I love those two positions, those first two rounds. You grabbed immediate day one starters in the mix, great complementary football players all around. Again, a little bit of a question on the last three picks there, but maybe those are projects that turn out to be gems that we underestimate him, and he comes back and goes, hey, you didn't really like that Law draft pick. How'd you feel about that in the 6th round there? Oh, Choppy, what are you thinking now? He's hate texting me, stop hating on my guys here. But look, I am jacked about this draft. I think this is exactly what we needed. Those picks are falling right in. I love these players. I love me some Blake Miller time. And I can't believe that we got, give me some more, Derek Moore to complement the other Michigan boy on the outside there with Hutch. Great draft, great time. Absolutely loved it. What else can you say other than, woo! Hashtag Choppy Rice.
Everybody, that's what we got. And we'll catch you next time right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Keith Abney, steal the draft. Hashtag market.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.